Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of $1 Million Me. I am your host, Max Kellerholz, and I'm doing another solo movie review. And this time I'm going to be talking about Killers of the Flower Moon, the new Martin Scorsese movie. The film is about the Osage Native Americans in the 1920s found out that on their reservation they had found oil. So they became the richest per capita people in the entire world. So you see at the beginning that there's a bunch of Native American people with like jewelry and expensive clothes, and they make a point to show that their like cabbie drivers and helpers are like white people. Overall county, for what the film says at least, got along really well in the beginning. But everything starts to slowly change once certain white men get married into these really wealthy families, and one by one, mysteriously, these murders start happening throughout the town. And yeah, it's definitely a very heavy subject matter. And I'm just gonna talk about the positives first. Personally, I think the person that steals the show in this entire film is Lily Gladstone as Molly Burkhart. She's more than just Leonardo DiCaprio's wife in the movie, but she plays such an integral part in this film. And she's really the heart of it all because everything that's going on is kind of surrounding her and she doesn't know what to do. Like she's getting sick. Many of her family members are just dying mysterious ways, and no one's giving her a proper answer. Everybody's lying to her, and you could just see it on her face. And then later in the movie, once everything starts to get slowly revealed to her, you just see like the utter like pain and anger in her face. That it's really good. If the actor's strike is done before the Oscars come out, I predict that she will win Best Actress. I don't know if it'd be supporting, I would say, because she is the main actress in the movie. And again, most of the film revolves around her. I wouldn't call her a supporting character at all. She's given the best performance I've seen out of anybody this year. And not to say like no one else is bad in the movie, it's just that like you have Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro in the film. I'm not saying that they were bad. I'm just saying that like you've seen these kind of performances from them before. Like Leonardo DiCaprio playing like a little bit of a southern hick kind of person, not very intelligent. You've seen Robert De Niro play like a really sniveling, conniving, like behind the scenes, not mob enforcer because the character he plays is like a sheriff, but just someone who kind of is a bit of a sleaze with a very dark underbelly kind of thing. I just thought that they gave really good performances. It's just that personally, like Lily Gladstone, anytime she was on screen, she would, in my opinion, act circles around everybody. And you already know how good the two actors, Leo and Robert, are. So all the scenes with them, and luckily that's most of the movie, are just really good. Just talking more about the supporting actors because just every actor in the movie was really good. I like for how little he is in the movie. Jesse Plemons was really fun as this Texas Ranger turned FBI agent because it's really interesting how like all the events in this film lead to the eventual creation of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And so it's kind of interesting to see how like FBI agents were treated like back then in the 1920s when there's like no real like technology or anything like that. So they're just using all their wits about them. And I found that to be really, I would say, fun and interesting to like see like how they pretty much just break apart this very flimsy plot to kill all these people. And he plays it very well. And I liked there's another actor in that part who's a Native American who's like almost like a spy kind of thing, and he does really well too. I thought he was a really interesting like character. I wish we kind of had more time to like see what he thought about all this, but it's already a 3.5 hour movie. You get Brendan Fraser and John Lithgow playing the lawyers, and it's so fun seeing those two like really go at it. And like I've seen some people talk about how Brendan Fraser may have been a little bit too overactive for their taste, but for me, it made a lot of sense. Like this is a time where you have to command a presence, and so whenever he was like being very loud and maybe I wouldn't say cartoony, but a little larger than life, it made a lot of sense because he's just trying to drown out the opposing lawyer. And it's again John Lithgow, really good actor. Not much to say about his character, but just a good lawyer all around. I also kind of want to point out like there's another actor who I was kind of surprised to see in this film because he was in The Last of Us this year. I forgot his name, but he plays David in The Last of Us. He's in this movie, and he plays an equally as creepy and shitty character in this as well. And I just found it really like, I don't know, he just gives off like scumbag energy. Like I really want to see more of him because I feel like he's gonna become a really good character actor in that sense. Where it's like, oh, that guy, like I like this guy, I want to see more of him. It just he was an interesting character because he plays the husband, the widowed husband to one of Molly's sisters. I think Anna, I think it was. And I thought that actress who played Anna was really good. There's a lot of new Native American actors and actresses that I've personally never seen before, but again, like there's not a lot of Native American media out there that I know of personally. If you do know some Native American films that like from like Native American people or just like that tell stories about Native Americans, please like leave a comment below because I kind of want to see more. Again, all the actors in the film just brought their freaking A game. If anything else, that is the best part about this movie. It's just that everybody fucking brings it. Now the overall like direction and like filmmaking style, it's a Scorsese film, so there's gonna be one tracking shot throughout the film. There's gonna be some really pretty shots, little some kind of symbolism in there as well. But honestly, I felt like I never was taken out of the film by like a moment that was like, oh, look how good my directing is. It was more focused on trying to just tell this story and tell it in a way that's very respectful and earnest. I shouldn't say earnest because of the main character. Like it just felt really like genuine. So there wasn't a lot of like flashiness to it. Like the only flashy part I'd say is at the very, very end. They have an interesting way to like show what happened to the characters or to the real life people after this story. It's interesting to say the least, just how Scorsese like does this particular film. I saw this in the movie theater. I don't know if it's at the time of recording if it's out on Apple TV Plus, but it's hard to talk about like a movie like this because for me, I like going to theater and seeing movies and just going by myself and just enjoying being alone and watching a movie and just letting the film itself tell its story. And I felt like for me, the runtime went by real easy. I never had a moment where I felt like, well, this is kind of getting a little boring. Like never, not once. I did check my watch a couple times just to see like, okay, well, it's a 3.5 hour movie, so we're here now. I'm kind of curious, like, are we halfway done? Just to see like where we are in the story because for most of it I was really on the edge of my seat. Like I don't know what's gonna happen next because I don't know about this story. I don't know if that's gonna be the same experience for everybody. So I would almost say I recommend watching an Apple TV Plus if you have it. It's definitely a film like that you can watch and put on TV and like sit down and pause if you need to go to the bathroom or make food or something like that. It really feels like that kind of film. And honestly, that's not a bad thing. I will always love the theater going experience. However, with film changing nowadays and personally how I grew up in watching movies, I watch movies sitting around the TV with my family. We pick a film and we watch it together. And sometimes we play in the background while we're working on stuff. And I feel like this film can really work for that. It's not a family going experience. It's not a family going experience because the film is purposely uncomfortable throughout most of it. It's just a horrible thing to see a targeted group of people go through this very thing, this horrible experience. The idea of like you can scream as much as you want, but no one's ever going to hear you unless you really get up in their face and talk about it. And even then, it doesn't really get that far. This is not like Goodfellas or Casino or Irishman for that matter, where it's like, oh, you can have fun with this because it's like, some of the gangsters are doing some goofy things or like it's so larger than life that this actually happened. But that's not really the case here. Like, there's no real fun to be had with anything here. It has funny moments of like dark humor. So if you like dark humor, this has it. Go in knowing that it's not going to be a fun time. I would like to talk about the controversy surrounding the film, in which there's a major discussion going around about should Martin Scorsese have directed this? He's a white director telling the story of Native American people and focusing a little bit on the criminals and the white people involved and trying to like explain like their morals and how this all went down. I could see where it's coming from, but maybe this story could have worked if a Native American director came out and did it. I don't know that many Native American directors at the moment, and who knows, maybe one of them could be the next Scorsese, but I feel like for what this story is about, and after seeing it and how much work and effort to get the culture right, or at least represented properly, they never show the Osage in this film as like lesser in any way. Like when you see these murders happen, you're like, no, that's fucked up. Like that's horrible that this happened, and it's played with respect, and even like how the film ends and how that one little directing stylistic choice. I felt like that was Scorsese more just trying to be like, look, I'm trying to tell this story to the best of what I can do, and this is how it ends. And he's putting his face right out there and saying, I know I directed this, but this isn't about me. And yeah, and I know that like they brought someone from the Osage to come in and basically be a representative and give like, okay, we would talk like this, we would do this. This is how we go about this situation. And he had an interesting thing to say where it was like, now would have been good to have had a movie that just solely focuses on Molly Burkhart. Yes, but this isn't a film for the Osage. This is a film for everybody. Basically, tell the story from the perspective of everybody involved. That way you can get all the facts right. He thought that makes a lot of sense for this film, and Scorsese was the perfect person to go about it. I don't know if I can find the video, but I'll see if I can find it and link it below. It's a really interesting, like little red carpet thing, and really well said by the man involved. I don't know his name, but I thought it was still really interesting. Now, as for like, I don't have that much negatives personally. Like, I love the film as like cinema or film, as like Martin Scorsese likes to say. But there's not that really many big negatives. The only thing I really had against it was just like Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro just kind of give. That's only my real gripe, but like don't take that as like they were bad actors in the film. It's just that their performance didn't wow me as much as like Lily Gladstone. Go into this movie just wanting to see like powerhouse acting from everybody involved. Just so good. All right, that's really all I got to say about this film. I don't want to spoil too much because it's a story that not a lot of people know about, and I'd rather people go into the film and then do the research. Yeah, that's really all I got to say about the film. I have to announce we have a Patreon now, so I'm going to put that in the link below. Please subscribe to our Patreon. It's going to be $5 a month. You will be able to have access to most, not all, of my unedited audios for my reviews. So you'll get to see all the jokes that were cut out, everything, and you'll just see like a very naturally flowing review. I'll even put this one into Patreon as well. If you do donate, every little bit helps, and I do hope to use that money to help bring this channel to bigger and better heights. If you want to see more from Million Dollar Media, especially reviews, reactions, Uncle Al stories, and specials, please like, subscribe, and share. Comment below what reviews you possibly want to see me do. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Bye.